What's going on, guys? It's your boy Mayo Jones here, and also we are back here with another NFL prediction. And this time, we'll be doing our Week 4 predictions for this week. Now, last week I went 10-6, which I did pretty good last week. So that's 10-6, like 3 straight weeks in a row. And overall, my record is 30-80, 30-18, which is pretty good. So we're gonna get started here. So before I get started here with the video, don't forget to feel free to put the thumbs up, type the video, and subscribe to my channel more often, and comment down your opinion below to see who you got winning this week. So let's get started. So basically, we have I chose Seahawks to win 20-17, and all of a sudden, they won 23-20. So let's get started with the rest of the games. Obviously, we got the Minnesota Vikings playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Vikings are favored by 2.5. Now, they're favored for a reason because, the Vikings are really good in international games, which they are. And, which they pretty much are. And all of a sudden, the Vikings are really coming off a dominant win against the Bengals, and the Steelers are coming off a close win against the New England Patriots. So basically, it could go either way because both of these two teams have a really great defense. Especially Minnesota has a really great defense, and so do the Steelers. Now, I don't really like how the way the Steelers are playing as a defense so far, especially in run defense and especially in pass defense as well. Now, the defense looked pretty good against the Patriots, though, because the Steelers did find a way to win, even though their defense was not playing really good. Because here's really the thing about the Steelers, because the Patriots couldn't really run the ball last week like they did a little bit, and the Steelers, I just have questions about their run game because their run game has totally not looked pretty good. I mean, Jaylen Warren looks like the worst running back in football right now. And, the receiving core outside DK Metcalf is not really good. Basically, offensively, they're not looking really good. The offensive line is not playing really good. I mean, there are some areas that the Vikings defense can take advantage of, getting pressure on Aaron Rodgers and make life difficult on him. And they got a really great secondary, too, which they're really good at stopping the pass as well, which they did a really good job against the Cincinnati Bengals last week, where they were stopping the Bengals running game, where they couldn't really run the football with their backup quarterback. And Jake Browning did not have a good game last week. He had 2 interceptions last week, and the Vikings defense forced 5 turnovers with the 2 interceptions and the 3 lost fumbles that the Bengals had. So basically, that was a bad performance by the Bengals because the Vikings defense was really good, and they found a way to run the football with Carson Wentz. Because I feel like the only way the Vikings can win this game is that if they don't really turn the ball over as much, and if they protect the football, don't turn the ball over as much, and they just get their offense going, I think that's how a way they can win this game. On the other side, if the Steelers want to win this game, I feel like that the defense is going to have to force a bad game from Carson Wentz, and they're going to have to at least run the offense a little bit, and they have to run the football because now the Steelers can't run the football really well, and the Vikings got one of the best run defense in football. Maybe they can be able to stop their running game in this game like the Patriots did, because Steelers did find a way to win the game, when they against the Patriots, even though they couldn't run the football. So basically, if the Steelers, if they can't run the football with their old quarterback, I feel like it will be a struggle because because last year we saw Aaron Rodgers, against the Vikings, and he couldn't really handle the pressure. So basically, you might expect maybe a pick six from Andrew Van Ginkel. We could, though, because, the Vikings pass rush is legit. And, and the Steelers, they might have, because, they might not do much on offense. And I think Kevin O'Connell, who is smart, is going to keep that from happening. Like, he's going to keep that from the turnovers from happening. Like, he's going to have less mistakes. And, even with Carson Wentz, even though when he turns the ball over a little bit, I think, Kevin O'Connell will keep that from happening because he's a great offensive play caller, and he's really good, at attacking defenses and picking them apart. So I think the Vikings offensively can do that. On the other side, the Steelers, they do got good corners, but they do struggle against good wide receivers and tight ends. So they're going to get Jordan Addison back, which that will probably help their offense. Like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson are tough to cover. The Vikings could run the football a little bit more on the Steelers. But at the same time, the Steelers' defense is really good. And, that's something that the Vikings' offense can struggle with because, the Steelers got good corners, a great pass rush, but they're missing Alex Highsmith, who is likely out. So I think the Steelers' defense I think it will be close, and I think it will keep them in this game. But I'm probably going to take the Steelers to win. I think Minnesota's going to be due for a loss because they were so lucky that they blew out the Bengals. I think the Steelers will find a way to keep this one competitive and keep this one close because I think their defense might find a way to win in this game. Maybe they can win by a field goal or something like that. Maybe like 20-17. I think it will be a low-scoring game because both defenses are really good. But if the Steelers' defense can keep them in this game, I think there's a better chance they hang around, and win this game. So basically, I'm probably gonna go ahead and take take the Steelers to win and the Vikings to cut. I'll take them to win straight up because I trust Aaron Rodgers more to get it done than Carson Wentz. So I think the Steelers will find a way to make less mistakes. So yeah, I like the Steelers here to win this game. All right, next game we have the Washington Commanders against the Atlanta Falcons. Now Washington was favored, but now Atlanta is favored now by a point. So basically, this game right here can totally go either way. Now the Commanders are going to be without Jaden Daniels, which that's kind of bad, and they're going to be without Terry McLaurin. So that's two of their best players offensively. So now they have left is Deebo Samuel and Zach Ertz. I'm not really sure if Washington's going to be able to run the football because, Eckler is out for the year, and Washington, and without Eckler, they might not have a run game. And I have a feeling that, if you can't run the football with your backup quarterback, it's probably going to be a struggle for any other team because now last week, Mariota was really good, because, Commanders, their run game was really, really good last week. They found a way to run the football with Mariota, and Mariota was really good last week, like he was, though. They found a way to run the football against the Raiders. They found a way to do that in this game. And defensively, they play a lot better. They forced 5 sacks. So, yeah, so basically, the Commanders' defense played excellent last week, and offensively, they looked pretty good last week. So, basically, I don't even know the same thing's going to happen again because now the Falcons, they're coming off a blowout loss against the Carolina Panthers, which the Falcons did not look pretty good last week offensively. Like, they couldn't really score in the end zone. Like, they really couldn't, though. Like, they ran the football and they was able to pass the football a little bit, but not really much. But they still wasn't able to win the game, though, because offensively they were not great. Now, I think, the Falcons, maybe their defense plays a little bit better in this game than expected because, they didn't really have, because, the Falcons, they really don't have, they don't really have, like maybe the Falcons look a little bit more healthier than the Commanders because, the Commanders are missing some pieces on offense. And the Commanders' run defense is playing really good, but their coverage has not been really good. Maybe there's a chance Atlanta can throw the ball on them because Michael Penix is awesome. He's a good thrower. And, maybe he has a chance to attack this Washington secondary that has not been really good. Maybe the Commanders' defense can play the Falcons' offense a little tough than they did the Raiders. We'll probably see about that because the Falcons offensively can move the ball, and they have plethora of weapons that can really give your Commanders' defense some fits. And Atlanta's defense is not as bad as you think, but they were terrible last week. But I think the defense plays a little better in this game, maybe. But we'll see. But I think this game right here is going to be a lot closer than people expected. But I'm going to go ahead and just take the Commanders because I think they're the more complete team and have the better coaching staff. And, Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback than Michael Penix, but he's not playing. But Mariota has showed some flashes that he can win you some games. Like he did that against the Raiders last week. I think he could do it again against Atlanta. But it's just that some guys in Washington, he's going to have to at least Deebo Samuel and Zach Ertz, he's going to I feel like they can have a good game as long as Deebo Samuel's not dropping passes and all that. So, yeah, I'll take the Commanders to win straight up. I'm going to say they win by 27-20 or 23-20. Even last year, the Commanders did beat them on Sunday Night Football, and Michael Penix was playing. So, yeah, I'll take the Commanders to win straight up. All right, next game, we have the New Orleans Saints against the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are favored at 14.5. This is a big number, but I do expect the Bills to win and the Bills to cover because, the Bills are a more complete team. They have the better quarterback and coaching staff. They're at home in this game where it's a tough outing to play at. And the Saints offensively, they're not that great offensively because we see them got, we literally see the Saints got, dominated by the Seahawks. Whereas the Saints offensively were terrible in this game. They couldn't really do much offensively. Because we know they couldn't really run the football. They was able to throw, but they wasn't able to run the football. And all of a sudden, their defense was totally not great. They weren't great on defense as well. So, yeah. So, basically, Spencer Rattler has not won a game. So, basically, that reminds me that I will take the Saints. There's no way I'm taking the Saints to cover a big spread. I mean, I know the spread is big, but there's no way I'm taking the Saints to cover, especially how bad they've been offensively and defensively. Yeah. And the Bills, are at home in this game. They're going to show a lot of fight, in this game as well. Because we've seen the Dolphins, the Bills' run defense was not really great last week against the Dolphins. Maybe it plays a lot better against the Saints. So, yeah. And even Tua did had 140 yards, which they did. Great stopping the pass. They'll probably do it against the Saints. But now we know the Bills are missing two other star players on defense once again. So maybe their defense does play a little bit better. Maybe it could be close. But I'm saying it's going to be a semi-blowout. I think the Bills, they'll probably put up 40 plus. Maybe 44 16. I'm not sure the Saints are going to be able to do much offensively like that. So I'm going to take the Bills to win and cover that big spread. And I think the Bills go 4-0. All right. We have the Tennessee Titans against the Houston Texans. The Texans are favored by 7.5. They are favored by a touchdown. So, yeah. Give me the Texans to win, but I'm going to say the Titans to cover. The reason why I got Texans winning is that they have the better quarterback and better coaching. And they're at home. They have the more complete team. And they do have the better defense. Now, the question is, can the Texans find a way to get their offense going? Well, will they be able to score a point? Like, who knows? Because Texans offense were struggling to put up points for lately. Like they were struggling to put up 20 points. And all because here's the thing. They can't really run the football. And they can run a little bit, but not much. Their receiving core is pretty good, but not great. The O-line has not been great. The defense has been really good. Maybe they'll find a way to get pressure on Cam Ward and get like difficulties on him. They pretty much have a great secondary that can man up against the Titans receivers. Maybe there's a chance that because the Titans don't have a great receiving core and the Texans do. So maybe there's a way the Texans defense can win this game because Titans don't have a great offensive line. The Titans do have a great defensive line, but maybe they can get pressure on CJ Stroud. But I don't really know because, Titans offensively, they have not looked pretty good as an offense. Cam Ward has really struggled lately. They struggle to get the run game going, the pass game going. The defense has totally not been looking great. Like they're giving up so many points. If the Texans if they can start fast and get up early, maybe there's a chance they can blow the Titans out. But I don't really know if they're going to be able to score enough points offensively though to do that because it can lead to 3 and outs and all that, and some sloppy plays and drop passes. So basically, I think the Texans should win. I think their defense wins this game. Maybe they win like by a field goal. They're favored by a touchdown. Let's say maybe 20-14, 20-13. Maybe they win like 17-13, something like that. Maybe 20-10. Something like that. Maybe they win something like a touchdown. So yeah. So give me like the Texans to win. Give me the Titans to cover. Next game we have the Carolina Panthers against the New England Patriots. The Patriots are favored by 5.5. I'll take the Patriots to win. I'll take Carolina to cover because I like how the way Carolina did play as an offense last week. They was able to move the ball against Atlanta. Their O-line played really good. The run game was starting to play really good as well. Like I like how the way Carolina played as an offense last week. I was very impressed. So yeah, especially their defense played really good, like forcing 3s and outs and all that. Now, could they do it again against the Patriots? Like, we don't really know because the Patriots offense have not been looking pretty good. The Patriots, the weakness of the Panthers is their defense. Maybe the Patriots can run the ball on them a little bit to keep them out of 3rd and longs and 2nd and longs. And I think they can get their passing game going because the Panthers secondary, like their coverage is good, but not great. Maybe Diggs has a good game. And maybe Demario Douglas does, maybe they all have a good game, and the Patriots do have a better offensive line, so maybe they'll find a way to combat the Panthers pass rush. And the Patriots D line is really good, and the Panthers dealing with some injuries on the offensive line, so maybe there's an area that the Patriots can take advantage of. Hope they get Christian Gonzalez back, which I think that would probably help the Patriots pass defense a little bit because the Panthers receiving core is not really good, and Bryce Young, it's probably going to struggle through that Patriots defense. We've seen Josh McDaniels had good game plans against the Panthers as of recently, and I think he does it. So, yeah. And the Patriots do have a better secondary, which that can probably play some sticky coverage against an underwhelming receiving core of Carolina. So, yeah. So, basically, I'll take the Patriots to win. I'll take the Panthers to cover, but I think it will be a lot closer. Maybe the Patriots put up 30-some points like they did against the Dolphins. I'm probably predicting that they're probably going to put up 30 points. Like, I'm just saying that they probably will. So, yeah, so I'm going to say 30 to 23, something like that, or like maybe 26 to 23, something like that. So, yeah. I'll take the Panthers to cover and the Patriots to win. I think the Patriots are like the more complete team and have the better coaching staff. And I think they have the better quarterback. I think Drake May is better quarterback than Bryce Young, in my opinion. And they're at home in this game, which should help, which I think they will get back on track after losing to the Steelers. So, yeah. So, give me the Patriots to win and the Panthers to cover. Next game, we have the Los Angeles Chargers against the New York Giants. The Chargers are favored by 6.5. Obviously, this is Jackson's first start in this game, whereas Russell Wilson's benched. So, yeah, so basically, I got the Chargers winning this game and covering. And the reason for it is that, the Chargers are like the more complete team. And they have the better quarterback and coaching staff. And we know, going across country from west to east is difficult, though. And the Giants do have a great pass rush, which that can totally give the Chargers offensive line issues because we've seen the Chargers offensively not look great against the Broncos because we've seen the Broncos pass rush get after Herbert and all that. And all of a sudden at the end, Herbert was able to dice them up. So, yeah. So basically, the Chargers did look pretty good, great defensively, though. And especially their red zone offensively, though, like they did at the end. But defensively, I feel like they're a really good red zone defense. It's a good unit. Like, they're finding ways to at least, like, not give up big plays. Like, Jesse Minter's defense is playing really well. And even without Khalil Mack, I mean, maybe the Giants can run the ball on them a little bit. I mean, they got Scadamu, and he's been decent lately. The Giants could be missing Malik Neighbors, but he expects to play. The Chargers defense, even without Khalil Mack, I don't know if the Giants are going to be able to run the ball. Because the Chargers have shown me they can stop the run, they can stop the pass, especially in their red zone defense. So, yeah. And, on the other side, I think, the Giants, like, I don't really think they're going to be. I don't think the Giants are going to do much offensively. They might not put up enough points like they did against the Kansas City Chiefs because the Chiefs, the Chiefs defense looked pretty decent against the Giants. Like, Russell Wilson was not looking good and all of a sudden like that. So maybe the Chargers defense maybe makes a play. Maybe their offense can make a play too because the Chargers, the Giants secondary is not really good, and the Chargers got really great receivers that can really pick them apart, like Quentin Johnston and Keenan Allen and Lad McConkey. Like,
You say it in Spanish if you want to.
But
don't have no Mustang, ain't never had a Mustang or anything. Okay? Alright?
because because the Chargers got great receivers that can really do that.
What car?
I mean,
I don't have a Mustang.
Because the Giants, have a great pass rush that can really give the Chargers offense.
I don't even have a car.
Because the Chargers do have
Yeah, I bought a car from who?
the Giants defensive line is really strong and maybe that can give the Chargers issues. But which that could not allow the Chargers to run the ball a little bit. But the Chargers run game has not been great. So maybe the Giants defense give them issues, but I don't know if it's going to be enough because all Herbert's going to do, he's going to dice up the Giants secondary up, which is not great.
No, I'm asking you.
So, yeah. So basically, I feel like the game could be a lot closer, but I don't see it. I mean, the Giants might not put up a lot of points, and the Chargers might, though. They might put up 30, though. But I'm going to say the Chargers win and the Chargers cover and all that because I think they'll do enough to win this game. So, yeah. So, giving the Chargers both ways. Give me the Chargers to win and to cover.
Work that Walmart, right? Yeah, it's trying to get me on.
All right. Next game, we have the Cleveland Browns against the Detroit Lions. Because the Lions, they're favored by 9.5. I will take the Lions to win, and I will take the Lions to cover. Because the Lions are like the best, like they're the more complete team, have the better quarterback, and I think their coaching staff is a lot better. And they're at home in a dome where it's going to be loud, and the Lions really play well in. The Browns are kind of literally coming off a upset win against the Packers, where they could be laying their eggs and coming down to earth against the Lions. Now, because the Browns,
Hey, okay, hey man, it's so good to hear from you, dog. Okay.
Because the Browns,
Okay, so you got my number now, right? Okay, all right, man. All right, love you, man. Later.
Because the Browns, they're now it was a great game, like a great defensive game. Now they found a way to give the Packers issues, though. Like they found a way to do that, though. Like especially against which were against their defense. They played really well though. Like it wasn't that bad. On the other side, the Lions, they found a way to their defense is really, really, really good. And they're probably gonna give the Browns offense a lot of pressure and put a lot of pressure on Joe Flacco to make life difficult on him, because the Lions pass rush is really good and the Browns don't have a great offensive line. And we know the Browns can't run the football as well, which that's gonna put the Browns offensively in a tough position. So yeah, so basically, I think the Lions, like the Browns, like they have a great secondary, but they play too much man coverage, and Amon-Ra St. Brown will probably play in the slot. Sam Laporta will, and Jameson Williams is fast, so the Browns probably won't be able to cover that, because all what the Lions can do, they're fast on offense. They can run the football, but I don't know if they will against the Browns, because the Browns have a great pass rush. But Myles Garrett was an alien last week, but he probably won't be as much an alien like he was in last week, because the Browns defense is not good on the road. And the Lions will probably put up a lot of points, though. And Jared Goff is good at beating man coverage, and Joe Flacco is not, because the Lions, on the other side, they got great corners that can really man up against the Browns receivers. The Browns receiving core is not great, and the Browns run game is not great. And the Lions are going to stop them to run. Maybe the Lions are going to do that. So I got the Lions winning and covering that big spread, because the Lions, they have the better quarterback, better coaching. They're at home and they're the more complete team. And they are coming off a win against the Ravens. So I'll take the Lions both ways. I'll take them to win and cover. I think they're going to blow the doors off the Browns. Like the Browns are going to be able to do much offensively. They might not put up a lot of points, though. And I think the Lions, they'll probably score 40 plus. So yeah, I'll take the Lions to win and the Lions to cover. Next game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Philly is favored by 3.5. Obviously, this game right here can go either way. I call this my trap game of the week, because I just don't really know who to pick here, because a lot of people are betting on the Bucs to win because the Bucs are at home, and Todd Bowles has given the Eagles offense problems, especially what Todd Bowles like to do. He stops the run and he pressures the quarterback, that's something that he likes to do. I don't really think both teams are going to be able to run the ball as much, because the Eagles' run defense is really great, and so is the Bucs' run defense. Like, we've seen the Bucs, like, they almost lost to, like, the Jets or something. Like, it was a blocked field goal win for a touchdown, and the Bucs found a way to win this game by a close one. Now, I like how the way the Bucks defense is playing right now is playing like a top unit in football. And the Eagles defense playing like a top unit in football as well. So basically, the Bucks are going to be missing their number one receiver, Mike Evans, which he's ruled out. Now, Chris Godwin is expected to play. Now, Emeka Egbuka looked awesome. Sterling Shepard did, and so is Kate Auden. So the Bucks got plenty of weapons that can really step up when Mike Evans is out. Their run game is looking pretty good. Offensive line is missing some pieces, but I think they're expected to have Tristan Wirfs back. Now the defensive line is really good. They can get pressure. Like, they don't allow you to run them over. And they're great against the pass as well. And same thing as the Eagles, though, because you could say the Eagles are a little bit more healthier, but Nolan Smith went on IR because the Bucks are missing pieces on both sides of the ball. I mean, they're missing like half of their entire offensive line. And I just don't really know they're going to be able to do much or run the ball against this Eagles front. And especially their secondary is really good because they got great corners that can man up against the Bucks receivers. And they got great linebackers as well. So that's kind of concerning me. But I do like the Eagles, they were not looking pretty good against the Rams. Like, they were trailing, all of a sudden they ended up coming back. Like, they did not look good, especially offensively, until like late, like in the second half. So maybe the Eagles can find a way to do it again. Because I think they need to get their passing game a little bit going a little more, though. Because I think they got their passing game. Because I think they found a way to pass the ball last week on the Rams. Like, they wasn't able to run the ball. I don't think they'll do in this game. I think they'll pass the ball in this game because the Bucks are that type of defense that will just give up big plays and just let other teams beat man coverage and zone coverage. And sometimes Jalen Hurts struggles against it, but I don't think he will in this game because we've seen last year and the year before, that the Bucks blew out the Eagles where their defense, where the Eagles offensively couldn't get something going. The Bucks defense was really getting after that. Now, I think this game will be close and competitive though, but I'll take the Eagles to win this game because the Eagles are more healthier. They're the more complete team. And I feel like the Bucks got way too many injuries right now on the offensive line, which is going to be tough for them to run the ball and to block the Eagles' pass rush. The Eagles' pass rush is very good. And I think the Eagles do have the better defense, in my opinion, where they'll probably make more stops and confuse Baker in moments and all that. So, yeah. I'll take the Eagles to win. I'm going to say like 24-20, something like that. I'll take the Eagles to win. I'll take the Bucks to cover, I guess, because I think the Bucks, because, the Bucks, I just have a feeling that, the Bucks will hang around this game because, the Bucks, they're that type of team that can hang around to keep this game close and competitive, but I think it will be closer than last time. So, yeah, I'll take the Eagles to win and the Bucks to cover. All right, next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are favored by 3.5. Now, this game can go either way. Now, the Colts are coming off a winning streak, and the Rams are coming off a heartbreaking loss against the Eagles, where they should have won last week. Now, the reason why that, the Rams should have at least won last week, because here's the thing. They had a lead early against the Eagles, and all of a sudden, the reason why they lost is because of a blocked field goal. Which they could have won, though. They could have won the game, though, which, which they could have did, because they were looking good, especially on defense, until like late in the second half. And they'll find ways to run the ball. And, at the end, their defense gave up big plays to Jalen Hurts, which the Eagles would have at least won by more, which they did, though. And the Rams could have at least just beat the Eagles because they were looking great. On the other side, the Colts are a really good offensive team right now. I mean, they're playing really good as an offense right now. Daniel Jones is playing really well. He's looked like a superstar out there. Their running game is playing really good. Jonathan Taylor is playing really well. Their receivers are playing really good. I mean, Michael Pittman's playing really good. Josh Downs is. Tyler Warren. Alec Pierce is. But I hear some news saying that he is out due to an injury. So that's something you got to watch for. But the Colts still look a little healthier, though. But the Colts secondary is like the back out of their defense is concerning because Kenny Moore is out. Which that's concerning. So yeah, and Buckner is questionable with a back injury. So yeah, so if the Colts are healthier on defense, maybe they can give the Rams offensive fits because the Rams offensive line has not been playing really good lately. But the Colts, secondary, they don't really give up a lot of big plays, and their defense don't allow you to run them over. Even if the Colts cornerback room was not healthy, maybe the Rams offensively can attack them because the Rams got great receivers that can really beat you, like Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, and they also got Tyler Higbee. Now, Tyler Higbee is questionable to play, which we don't know if he's playing or not. Devontae Adams is beat up. We don't know if he's playing or not. Because if both these guys do play, I think that's a huge boost to the Rams offense. And Matthew Stafford can attack that. Because I think they can rip up the Colts defense as well. So, yeah. So, basically, this is a tough one. I mean, this can go either way. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, though. But I have questions about the Rams defense, especially their secondary. Because the Rams secondary is sometimes not good against the pass because they'll give up big plays. And the Colts do have great receivers that can really rip up any defense like the Rams. And the Rams can stop the run really good. They have a great pass rush that can really give the Colts offense and Daniel Jones fits. So yeah, so I think this game will be a very good game. I think it will be close. Because the only way the Colts can win this game is if Shane Steichen can cook something up and Daniel Jones plays really well and the defense just gives the Rams offensive issues. So I expect this game to be close. I'll take the Rams to win because the Rams are at home. I think they get back on track here after coming off a loss against the Eagles, which they should have won. So I think the Rams do get back on track here and win this game because they have the better quarterback. They have the better coaching staff. They're at home. They're the more complete team. I think they have a better defense, in my opinion. And I think they'll give the Colts offense some fits here. So, yeah. So, I do expect them to, win by a field goal. I'm probably going to say, 34-31, something like that, or, 41-38. I think they can win by a field goal or something like that because I think it will be high scoring because both defenses will give up big plays and all that. So, yeah. I'll take the Rams to win. I'll take the Colts to cover. All right, next game. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars against San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are favored by 3.5 by a field goal. This game right here can go either way. Now, most people could be picking the Jags to win. Now, I know most people are picking Jacksonville to win because here's the thing. Jacksonville, Jacksonville, is coming off, a win against the Texans. And, the Niners are coming off a 3-0 start. They're coming off a close win against the Cardinals. Now, the Niners are beat up with injuries, though. We know that Nick Bosa, he's out for the year, which that's kind of brutal. Now, I'm waiting to see what this defense can look like without him. And the Jags and the Niners do have questions on the injuries report because Kittle's still on IR. Brandon Ayuk, he's still not recovered from his injury yet. Juwan James is questionable to play. Purdy is questionable to play, but now I found some news saying that Purdy will start. I mean, McCaffrey is healthy. I like how the way their running game is. I like how the way he is. He's playing really good, but they got to get their run game going a little bit. offensive lines is pretty healthy. The defense, especially their front, is missing Bosa. I like the linebackers; they're playing really good. The secondary is playing really good. Um, the Niners, their defense is playing really well right now. Like it's playing like top 5 in football right now. On the other side, the Jags defense, is playing really good right now. I mean, I like how the way their D line is playing. I like how the way their secondaries look. Like the Jags defense could be underrated. Now, I just don't really know if both teams are going to be able to move the balls, especially because Travis Hunter is playing on the wrong side of football. I don't know why. The Jags offensively, they have been showing they can be really good, but on the other side, I just don't really know if they're going to be able to move the ball successfully against the Niners defense because I feel like the Niners defense is good against the run. I feel like they can stop the run, they can load the box, force some mistakes. But if Purdy does play, I might, in Jenny's play, I think the Niners will win. But if they both don't play, I might take Jacksonville. But who knows? I mean, Mac Jones 2-0 as a starter so far and leading the Niners in some wins. So, yeah, that's really good for them. And I think the Niners are really seeking a 4-0 start. So, yeah. So, basically, I think the Niners, I'm going to say Jennings does play. I could be wrong because he didn't practice for a few days and then he was back at practice yesterday, I believe. So, yeah. So, basically, I'll take the Niners to win because I think they're the more complete team, have the better coaching staff. And I think Purdy's a better quarterback than Lawrence, in my opinion. So, yeah. And they're at home in this game. So, yeah. So, I'll take the Niners to win. I'll take Jacksonville to cover, I guess. I think they'll keep this close in this game because the Niners have totally struggled to cover the spread lately. So, yeah. So, I'll take Jacksonville to cover. I'll take the Niners to win. Maybe they'll win. Maybe they win by a field goal, maybe 19-16, something like that, because the Niners offense has not been playing really good lately. So, I think it will be low scoring. So, yeah, I like the Niners to win and the Jags cover. All right, next game, we have the Baltimore Ravens at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Ravens are favored by 2.5. Now, I call this a trap game, though, because I feel like this game right here can totally go either way. Now we know most people could be picking the Chiefs to win because they really need to win this game to get their season on the line, and the Ravens do too because they're both 1-2. The Ravens, they're coming off a loss against the Lions, and the Chiefs are coming off winning against the Giants. Now, one thing I want to say about the Ravens is that, the Ravens defense has not been playing really good lately, especially against the Lions. We seen them got ran over by the Lions where the Lions ran for 200 yards. Like, David Montgomery was tearing them apart. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, and Jahmyr Gibbs had 2 rushing touchdowns. Like, they have not been really good lately on defense, especially against the pass and against the run, where their run defense is a lot terrible, though. And the Ravens offensively couldn't really run the ball. Like, offensively is looking good for Baltimore. The defense is not really playing as good as it should be. Now, we totally see the defense giving up big plays and such like that. And we see the Ravens collapse to, struggle to convert on 3rd down. And all of a sudden, the Lions get the ball back, and they was able to run the offense a little bit. Like they were not looking good offensively, though. Like, they were looking good offensively for a second, but they did not look good defensively as well. I mean, on the other side, the Ravens were missing 2 of their best players on defense, Madubuike and Kyle Van Noy, so yeah. On the other side, the Chiefs, their defense is playing a lot better, but the offense is really not good. I mean, they're struggling to run the football. And Mahomes is leading the league in rushing because all the Chiefs plays were is that RPOs and then Mahomes scrambling and tossing up a big play to Tyquan Thornton, which I don't know if it's going to happen again. Now, Tyquan Thornton did step up and had a good game, though. But I heard news saying they are expected to get Worthy back. So I think the Chiefs offense might play a little better in this game because we know Kelsey looks slow and all that. And the offense looks slow, especially the running game. The offensive line is not great. on the defense is looking pretty good. I think their defense can play a lot well again against this Ravens team because we know the Chiefs are good at stopping the run and they're not great at stopping the pass. But maybe there's a chance Lamar can dice them up because the Ravens got really good weapons that can beat man covers like Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, Mark Andrews, and all that. So yeah, in the Ravens defense, I think they can play a little better in this game because we know the Chiefs don't have a run game. Because, the Ravens are good against the run. Maybe their run defense plays a lot better in this game. And I think they'll find a way to get after Mahomes and confuse him because, we've seen the defense not able to get pressure last week against the Lions and they only had 0 sacks. Now, I do expect the Ravens secondary to play a lot better, though, because they do have the corners to match up well with the Chiefs receivers. But I think as long as they can take away Kelsey and make them throw the ball at other people, I think that'll probably help the Ravens a bit. So, yeah, so basically, I think the Ravens should win. I mean, this game's in Kansas City where it is a tough outing to play at. But I think this game right here will be close, and I think it will be competitive, though. But I don't know what to choose here because I really don't want both these teams to go 1-3, but one of them will. But the Ravens have struggled to beat the Chiefs in Kansas City for a while. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and just say the Ravens get back on track and win this game. Because I think the Chiefs are gonna be due for a loss because I think the Chiefs were so lucky they beat the Giants. Now they're playing at home against another tough team against the Ravens, who like to run the football and they play really good defense. So I think the Ravens should win this game. I think it will be low scoring a little bit because both defenses are really good. I'm probably going to say the Ravens win like 23-17, something like that, or like 23-20, or like maybe they win like 24-23, something like that. So yeah, I'll take the Ravens to win. I'll take the Ravens to cover. All right, next game we have the Chicago Bears against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are favored by 1.5. I call this a trap game because the game right here can go either way, and most people are picking the Raiders for a reason because Geno is a better quarterback than Caleb, and they have a better coaching staff. But I feel like Pete Carroll could be out of his prime because he's getting older as a coach and all that. I mean, the Raiders are not really good. Did not look really good offensively. They need to get the run game going. Like Aston Gentis, they need to get him going. Like the run game is not playing really well. I mean, the offensive line is not playing really well. It's mid at best, I believe. The defense, is not really playing really well because we've seen the Raiders defense get ran over by the Commanders with no running game. Like, trust me, Commanders did not have a run game. Like, they did not have Austin Eckler, and they still found a way to run the ball on them. And, and they didn't have Jaden Daniels, and the Commanders still found a way to win that game. On the other side, the Bears, they looked pretty good last week against the Cowboys. Like, they was able, especially they're against the Cowboys who have, the worst defense in football. And, the Bears, I thought that Caleb played really well. Like, I thought they found a way, their passing game was looking really good. Like, I like how the way their passing game was looking really good. They wasn't able to run the ball. Ben Johnson did a really good job at scheming Matt Eberflus' defense and all that, but maybe he does that against the Raiders. Who knows? So maybe he finds a way to scheme up against the Raiders' defense. Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, maybe he does that against the Raiders' defense. We'll see. The Raiders don't have a great defense. I mean, their pass rush is okay, but not great. Their secondary is not looking good. And they don't really have any corners, though, to match up well with the Bears receivers. I think Roma Dunze can go off in this game. I think DJ Moore can. I think, the Bears, they have plethora of weapons that can really beat you and that can really rip up any defense like the Raiders. I think Caleb Williams can come up on top again, throwing at least 3 or 4 touchdowns against this Raiders defense, especially that got ripped up by the Commanders. You know, so yeah, so basically, I'll take the Bears to win this game because the Bears. I just think they're like I think they're like a better version of the Raiders. So yeah, I think they can get their offense going again, and I think the defense, had a great performance against the Cowboys. I think they can do it against the Raiders. We know the Bears don't have a great pass rush. Maybe the Raiders get the run game going. We don't know, but the Bears are missing Jalen Johnson, which that is concerning. But the Bears defense still found a way to at least like stop the Cowboys passing game as well. But I think they can do it against the Raiders because the Raiders don't have a lot of great weapons on offense that can scare you other than Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers. Trey Tucker looked pretty good. So yeah, so basically, I like the Bears here to win this game convincingly. I think it will be close. I'm going to say like maybe they win like 27-24, like 31-27, something like that. So yeah, I like the Bears here to win this game. All right, next game we have the Green Bay Packers against the Dallas Cowboys. This Sunday Night Football. This is the Micah Parsons revenge game where he will be returning home to Dallas to face Jerry World. So obviously, I got the Packers winning. I got the Packers covering, and here's why. The Packers, the reason for it is that Packers got the best defense in football. Pretty much had the better defense. The Packers got the better coaching staff. And, they're the much more complete team, and they pretty much got the Cowboys number. They pretty much own them. The Cowboys, to me, can't beat the Packers to save their lives. And, we've seen that in the playoffs a few years ago where the Packers did blew them out, though, because, the Packers, offensively, Matt LaFleur was cooking things up. And I think, Matt LaFleur has found a formula to attack the Cowboys defense, especially Matt Eberflus defense. I think he can do it again. Even if the Packers don't have great receivers, I think you might see Romeo Doubs or Matthew Golden run a route. You might see Tucker Kraft running a route down the middle of the field or wide open down the field. May at the 20-yard line, if they're at the 20-yard line or something like that. And another reason why I think the Packers will beat the Cowboys is that, the Cowboys defense is really bad. Like, it was really pathetic. Like, we see them got diced up by the Bears. We seen Caleb Williams pick them apart. And all of a sudden, CeeDee Lamb is out, which I really think is going to be hard for Dallas to put up a fight against this Packers team that has one of the best defenses in football, a great pass rush that is fast, and a great and all that. And even if the Packers don't have the corners to match up against the Cowboys receivers, I think the Packers pass defense can really find a way to get after that. And I think they can get pressure on Dak Prescott, force some mistakes, because Dallas' offensive line is not great. And, it's a bad matchup for Dallas because Dallas' pass rush is not as great. So I think the Packers, even though they're missing pieces on the offensive line, I still think they'll find a way to at least, like, block and run the football a little bit with Josh Jacobs, So, yeah, and I think Jordan Love's going to pick them apart, and I think the Packers offensively is going to overpower them. So, yeah, so basically, I take the Packers to win. I take them to cover. I think it's going to be a blowout, though. But if the Cowboys can cook something up offensively, maybe they keep this close. But I just don't see it, though. I have a feeling that the Packers, they'll probably put up 30 points. Maybe like 38 to like 17, something like that. Or like 38 to 16. Because the Cowboys might struggle to put up 20 points without CeeDee Lamb, unless George Pickens or Jake Ferguson or Jalen Tolbert or Kevontae Turpin step up. Yeah, but the Cowboys' run game is looking better, though, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it against this Packers defense that's been really good. So, yeah, I'll take the Packers both ways. I'll take the Packers to win and to cover. All right, next game, we have Monday Night Football. We have the New York Jets against the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 2.5. So, obviously, I know most people are picking the Jets to win because they think the Dolphins are in a bad spot. Like, I don't really know, like, why. I mean, the Jets seem like they've been competitive lately. They were competitive against the Buccaneers last week, especially with the backup quarterback. I thought they looked pretty good offensively as well. But on the other side, the Dolphins, they was able to run the ball against Buffalo, and Tua played really good against the Bills. So yeah. On the other side, the game go either way. Now I did see on news that Fields is expected to play, which that's pretty, which that's decent boost. Now Dolphins will be getting Darren Waller back, which that kind of will be a boost after he missed 3 games. The Dolphins defense is a worse unit, and the Jets defense could be a lot better than them. But the Dolphins, they got plenty of weapons on offense that can really move the ball against the Jets defense. Because the Jets do like to play a lot of man coverage, and Aaron Glenn seemed like he's not really great defensive coach as well. Like he lost his mind. Like his team should have beat the Buccaneers, but the Buccaneers only won by a field goal. So yeah, I think the Dolphins defense could play a lot better in this game because the Jets offensive line is not really good, and maybe they can get pressure on Fields and all that. Yeah. I think the Dolphins offensively play better in this game. I think they can run the football better than the Jets because the Jets run game is not working a little bit, even though they found a way to run the ball against Steelers. I don't really think they can do it against Miami. And playing Miami is a tough outing, and also this is a Monday night in Miami where it's tough to play at. I think this is a must win for the Dolphins. I think this is a must win for the Dolphins if they really want to get over the hump. Because I think coming off a 3-game losing streak, it's very, very crucial. And I think the Dolphins do get back on track here, coming off and the 3-game losing streak. And I think they'll win this game because they got the better quarterback. I think they got the better coach, and they're the more complete team, and they're at home in this game. So yeah, I think the game will be a lot closer than people think. I'm going to say Dolphins win like 24-23 or like 23-17, something like that. So yeah, or maybe they might put up 30 points in this game. Maybe 30-24, something like that. So yeah, so basically I'll take the Dolphins to win. I'll take the Jets to cover, I guess, because the Jets were very competitive against the Buccaneers after they got blowed out, and they nearly almost came back on Tampa Bay. But I think the game will be a lot closer. I think the Jets offensively play better in this game, and Garrett Wilson could, and Dolphins might struggle to cover Garrett Wilson because Garrett Wilson can have a good game. So yeah, so I'll take the Jets to cover. I'll take the Dolphins to win. Then last game, we have another Monday Night Football. We got the Cincinnati Bengals against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 7.5. This is a big number. Now, I will take the Broncos to get back on track and win this game, but I will take the Bengals to cover though because the Broncos offense has not been looking good lately. Like Bo Nix is not looking really good. Like especially the offense is not really looking good. The run game for the Broncos, now that the run game was looking better, but their passing offense is not really playing really good lately. Like Bo Nix is not playing his best ball right now. The rushing offense, they're not really playing good as an offense right now. They don't really got a great receiving core. Like their receiving core outside of Sutton is not great. Their offensive line is not playing really good, and the defense, their run defense is playing a lot better, but their pass defense has not been playing really good. We see them give up, explosive plays to Justin Herbert last week and all that, but we've seen that happen though. But I think the same thing might happen again against, the Bengals, because the Bengals got great receivers that can really rip up any defense and all that. Because we know the Bengals as an offense the Bengals did not looked at pretty good as an offense last week because Jake Browning was terrible. He was 19 for 27, 40 passing yards and 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, which that's bad. And he literally had 3 lost turnovers too. So that's like 5 turnovers that they had because the Vikings defense was really getting after that, and they forced a lot of turnovers though. And all of a sudden, the Vikings offense did play really good, and they found a way to run the football. And the Bengals run defense almost didn't really stop the run. Now the question is, can the Broncos find a way to run the ball in this game with Bo Nix? Well, we'll see because maybe they can get their run game going a little bit. maybe Bo Nix can get it together. The Broncos, they have, I feel like their defense plays a lot better in this game. The Broncos do have great corners that can man up against the Bengals receivers. So pass Surtain versus Jamar Chase, a good matchup. Their pass rush, I think, will play better this game. Especially, they'll get after Jake Browning made life difficult on him because the Bengals offense has not been playing good, especially last week they didn't because I think they can get pressure and all that. I think the Broncos defense can win them this game though, but I think it's gonna be a little bit of a low scoring game. I'm probably gonna say like 17-20. Maybe they win by a touchdown. Something like maybe 17-20 or like 24-17, something like that. Or maybe like if the Broncos offense plays, if they can play a lot better, maybe they put up 30. I think Sean Payton can cook something up. So yeah. So basically, I'll take the Broncos to win because they have the better coaching staff, and I think they pretty much have the better defense. So yeah. So I'll take the Broncos to win and the Bengals to cover. I guess maybe in a low scoring game, like maybe in a low scoring game, maybe the Broncos win by a touchdown, or maybe they win by a defense game to stop. So yeah. Well, all right, guys. Those are all my week 4 picks for this week. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments below who you got winning this week. Well, it's Emmanuel Jones, big fan. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to put a thumbs up to like the video. And you can also subscribe to my channel. You can see more of my weekly predictions and more of my videos and all that. So, yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.